Heyo and welcome to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. If you guys didn't already know, there are 260 lucky dice to find throughout the entire game, little golden D20s, and they all increase your loot luck chance. Essentially means you get higher tier items like legendaries, more often the higher loot luck chance, and they're hard to find. I was lucky enough to get Tiny Tina's Wonderlands a week early thanks to the 2K Next Makers program, which I only got in, by the way, thanks to you guys, so appreciate you guys supporting the channel. And I spent about 4 days straight, a lot of hours, like 45 hours plus, looking for all of these dice, and I found all of them for you guys to make guides on how to find all of them. So if you're missing one, if you can't bother looking for any of them and you just want to follow the guide as you're going through your playthrough, it'll save you a bunch of time, trust me. Now before we go any further, there won't be any spoilers in this video, and if there's anything like slightly spoiler related coming up, I'll make it very clear. You can pause the video and then come back to it later on if you guys would want to. It's also going to be split up into multiple parts, because if I put all 260 in one video, the retention would be horrible, YouTube would never recommend it, and you would have never have seen the video. So the separate parts will be all out one after another super quickly in a playlist linked in the description, or if you click the bell when you subscribe, you'll get a notification whenever the next one is ready. If you want to find your loot luck number, go to your inventory, then go to skills, then go to your hero points, and you'll find it underneath the two characters you've chosen here. You've got a loot luck base, which there's a bunch of different stuff that makes that number up, and I'll go through all of those in a separate video, but then it is multiplied by the amount of lucky dice you found. For example, 2.64. That's not all of the dice found, by the way. It can get higher than that. And you can find the number you found so far under Journal, the second tab here. Scroll down to Lucky Dice. For example, I have 213 out of 260 at the time of recording this video. If I find all of them, I get another bonus 20% loot luck on top of the multiplier. Now for the locations, we're going to go to the first 3 maps in one video because they only have a small amount of dice per map, so I can squeeze them all in together. We're going to do Snoring Valley, literally the starter area. Then you go to Queen's Gate, and then Burrow is technically after the main town in this game, but the town you have to do in 2 separate parts. That'll be coming a little bit later on. And we'll do these 3 maps all together. I'll always start with a map fully on screen, and then I'll zoom in so you can see exactly where we are. Usually very straightforward, particularly for these starter maps. You just go to that location and you'll see it just there. And then other times there's like side missions you have to complete. There's some fake walls, there's some parkour. So I'll explain all that stuff as we're going along. But that's all 4 locations of Snoring Valley already. They're definitely the easiest ones to find. So moving on to Queen's Gate. This map unlocks as you progress through the main story. So you can't immediately get here and just go find all the dice. You do have to keep going. This one has a false wall, so there's the castle, turn around, smash through that wall. There's a dice in the back, and there's a bunch of trolls as well. The rest are pretty straightforward, though. As long as you're still doing the main quest as you're finding them, it'll keep unlocking more areas, because there's like 3 or 4 gates that literally progression block you from moving around. So as long as you keep going with the main story, you'll be able to get to all these locations. These 3 are actually connected very close to each other. Like you can see the castle, there's the first one, and you can actually see this location from the next spot. There's quite a few that are like that are actually nice and very easy to find. It's the greatest when you've gone an hour without finding a single dice and then you find 3 right next to each other. It's the best. This next one has a rune switch next to it. You see I shoot it in a moment. If you want to give that a go while you're there, and if you see any other kind of collectibles like marbles, poetry pages, the obelisks, I'll be making guides on all of those later on because they give you different kinds of buffs as well. But if you see any while collecting your dice, definitely pick them up or give them a go because they're well worth it once you have all of them. Now this is actually the 12th out of 15 lucky dice for this location, but I'm actually going to hold the last 3 to the end of the video because you actually have to progress a bunch of the story and then come back to this location to get the final 3. And I don't want to spoil any story things related in this video. So we're going to move to Burrow, and we'll leave the last 3 to the end for anybody that's completed at least half of the game. Then you can do those 3. Straight off the bat for this map, you can actually get your loot from that dice. If you get the original dice through the window like I did, go around the corner. There's a false wall. You can break through it and pick up your loot because you do actually get decent stuff from this lucky dice. I don't know if I actually said that originally. The lucky dice actually give you decent on level as well loot for your weapons, class mods, all that kind of stuff. So if you're kind of low on loot for a playthrough, just go to a new map, collect all the dice, and you'll come out with a buff set of loot. This one has a false wall, by the way, that little cathedral / church thing. Just melee your way through that wall and you'll find the dice in the back there. The loot you can get though, anything from a common through to legendary. When you interact with the dice, it rolls 1 through 20. The higher the number, higher chance you get a legendary. Same thing with your loot luck though, so the higher loot luck at the time, higher chance you get in legendaries. So pretty much how it works is because the loot luck dice give you loot luck, the more you find, the better chance you are of getting legendaries throughout your playthrough. Hopefully that made sense. This is your last location for Burrow, by the way, but before you run from spoilers, don't worry, I'll tell you when to pause so that you don't get any. The last 3 locations for Queen's Gate requires you to do half the game, come back and get those last 3, which is a bit of a pain. But if you want to add this video to your watch later or to a playlist so you can come back and check them out without getting any spoilers, you can do that. For future uploads, you don't have to worry. If you want to keep doing these while you're doing your playthrough, you can. You won't get any spoilers because once you get to that map, you can just one and done the entire thing. Like, it doesn't require you to do a bunch of main mission and then come back to it. You can just do it all at the same time. If you don't want any spoilers, pause the video here, go add it to your watch later and come back later on. I'll give you a second to do that so you don't get any spoilers. If you're kind of lurking around like, I think I've done enough, I'll give you a hint. It is an event that happens that affects the map. If you've seen that, trust me, you'll know what it is. You can keep watching the video, and hopefully everybody else has clicked off by now. So for the last 3 locations of Queen's Gate, you'll have had to have blown up the ocean. I included this clip just because it would have spoiled it in the background, but you can actually get this dice off the balcony at any point in time. The next 2, though, blatantly under the ocean usually. So you have to do the main mission, then you can actually access these locations. That's all the locations for the first 3 maps. Of course, if you want the next ones, they'll be out once to twice a day, every day until they're all out. They'll be linked in a playlist in the description. It'll be on screen on the end card, or you can subscribe with the bell on, and then YouTube will send you a notification for whenever I post them. If you also enjoy Minecraft, I have a second channel with all Minecraft content. If you want to join the Wonderlands Twitch community, I stream over there pretty much every day as well. All linked in the description for you guys. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Catch you guys in the next one. Adios.